Wrinkled, wrinkled little star. Hope they never see the sky.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Kill James Bond that we recorded in the morning. First thing in the morning, it's Kill James Bond in the morning. It's morning Kill James Bond.
I like recording in the morning.
Kelly.
It's Kill James Bond in the morning, baby.
It's Kill James Bond in the morning. It's drive time. Kill James Bond. It's, you know, we had a bit about the morning zoo radio station thing that we were going to do, and then we didn't do that because it was too much work. Because it's in the morning, and you know when the morning is? Early. Early is when they keep that.
It's after
and
10,
so
Alex.
It's 10, yeah. It's
10
actually
a.m.
like completely reasonable.
I don't know times, and also I was up until like 3 and shut up.
That's fair.
We watched. It's a bonus, right? So we don't need to even do this introduction rigmarole. You know who we are. And more importantly, this is Abby's choice of bonus movie. This is Death Becomes Her.
Mm-hmm.
This is so fucking good, dude.
We watched a film
It's
about
good.
two women who have a years-long feud and the same plastic surgeon. I chose it for no reason.
And you don't like Almodovar movies, and you are a woman who once said to me, to my face, I think I hate camp.
I had a very
and then
specific
your next
reason.
choice of the movie.
I had a very specific reason for saying that at the time.
You're sort of lying.
It was a lie. But no, I chose this movie because I watched this film years and years ago, and it was just like, just gonna save this in my brain for no reason. Not quite sure why it's stuck in my memory so much. But then I was just like, I do think it has interesting things to say. Not necessarily good things to say about like femininity and trans femininity in particular. And I think it is also quite funny. So there we go.
It's hysterical.
Oh, I thought it banged.
It's a great movie. However, it's also a weirdly mean-spirited movie and a problematic movie and a movie that's mostly about being transgender. And, you know, write it up. That's what makes...
It's definitely not about 9/11. So
cult classic.
Not even remotely.
No. You would have to really stretch. But the thing is, right, we're doing this and then Rambo 3 after this. So we're flipping the switch, right? We've got like the metronome continues on its steady course from movies about being transgender to movies about being 9/11. Being 9/11.
Being 9/11.
Fuck.
Wow.
Oh god. I guess that's like The Looming Tower and not much else. Like what are they didn't really make any like 9/11 hijacker protagonist movies. I guess there's the movie World Trade Center with Nicolas Cage. That's kind of about being 9/11. And then I think there may have been a movie that was just called 9/11, which doesn't get much more being 9/11 than that. But
being 9/11.
Death Becomes Her.
Death becomes her.
We also got to increment the big movies that reference All About Eve, but before we've seen the movie All About Eve, even though I keep saying we have to see the movie All About Eve counter. That goes up to like 5 at this point, because we start with a big All About Eve reference. We start in Broadway in 1978, and we get a full Broadway number done by Meryl Streep. It's fucking...
It's terrible.
Yes.
In universe, it's meant to be this like absolutely awful Broadway musical
That's
that Meryl
the great
Streep
thing.
is performing.
It threads this needle so well of like it's a well-performed version of something that is poorly performed, which in itself is a camp as fuck concept. It's a really like poorly conceived and executed stage musical called Songbird with an exclamation mark. And it sort of starts with your trad Broadway, and it degenerates into a sort of Lloyd Webberish pop musical thing.
And people are like openly leaving during it.
Yes, it's great.
I said this in the fucking group chat, but like singing a song about how cool you are, like to a completely falling asleep crowd is devastating. There's no coming back from that.
Yeah, it's one of the funniest things you can do. And it also, because it's a very catty movie, it's another reason why we like it. It has a lot of stuff like playbills of Meryl Streep's face being like trod into the pavement and people going like, you know, that bitch, she's so fucking old, dude. That's not a real line. They're smarter than that, but it's 10 in the morning, which for me is like 5 in the morning. And
threading off Alice time zone.
The only person in the audience
Yeah, I'm in the Azores.
who is enjoying this show, a man who is absolutely captivated by what he's seeing on stage, is Bruce Willis.
That's right, Bruce Willis.
This is pre-Die Hard, like pre-action Bruce Willis. This is like still doing romance and comedy Bruce Willis.
Yeah. And this Bruce Willis, first of all, he looks bloody young. Second of all, we had a sort of debate about this, Abby and I, before we started, about whether or not Bruce Willis is too famous to count as a guy we love to see, if we genuinely love to see him.
Well, we're only seeing him within the era that he would have been a guy I love to see. So far, we haven't seen any modern Bruce Willis.
I feel like you can't be a guy I love to see if you're playing the lead. He is the male lead in this film.
Yeah, we need like other forms of appreciation because we do genuinely love to see him. I like Bruce Willis a lot. And yeah, no, it's the thing is, right, they fucked him up for this one. They made him dress like a podcaster. He's got kind of like Virgil Texas hair, but also like big aviator glasses and a mustache. And
he looks not unlike Jeffrey Spiegel, which is quite funny. Those of you who know, real heads know.
Not rich enough to know who Jeffrey Spiegel is. Yeah, he looks like Bruce Willis going to a party in costume as Paul Bearer, the wrestler. I gotta stop referencing fucking Paul Bearer because I called someone else Paul. I got one reference in me, and it's Paul Bearer. He's like a very compelling. The visual stuck with me. Anyway.
I've had to Google 2 references you two have made within the last minute. Can you please get dumber?
I've done the Paul Bearer one before.
He's watching this musical with his fiancée Goldie Hawn. And he is
Goldie Hawn.
Dowdy looking Goldie Hawn. She's got like the mousy brown hair, which it's always fun to see as visual shorthand as like this bitch boring as hell because that's my natural hair color. And she's sitting there like kind of bored, and he is wrapped. He is tier 3 subscribing.
He like stands up slamming and claps that follow as button. People around him are leaving.
Yes, yeah, he loves this shit. He has only eyes for Meryl Streep. Madeline Ashton, her character is called. And they get to go backstage. We see Madeline in her dressing room first, and this bit is a direct takeoff of All About Eve, where she's like, she's surrounded by flowers and stuff, and she's like looking at herself in the mirror, aging, and there's a really, really great little bit where she like practices her shocked expression for when they come in a couple of times before she has them let in.
So we established that Helen, Goldie Hawn, and Madeline, Meryl Streep, are childhood friends, and they haven't seen each other in years. And then in they come, and it's all hugs and it's lovely to see you again. And Bruce Willis, Ernest, is Helen's fiancé, and he's quite a renowned plastic surgeon.
Yes, yeah, he is.
We also get this little line where we establish that Helen has been a little bit less successful in her career than Madeline because Madeline's like, oh, how's that writing thing? And Helen's like, oh, I'm still trying. And yeah.
Yes.
And Madeline quite openly flirts with Ernest as well.
Yeah, it's scandalous. It's great. He clearly has like a thing for her. And as this comes up in conversation, she goes, oh, that's ridiculous. You don't have a Madeline Ashton thing, do you? And it's really fucking good. We see the like rivalry between these two women like just like clamp itself around this dude who very much does have a thing for Madeline Ashton.
And later on, Helen even warns Ernest. She says, look, Madeline's stolen like, all of my boyfriends since we were children.
Yes.
She doesn't actually like them. She just does it because she can.
She's Mr. Steal Your Girl.
She is Mr. Serial Girl, and that's why I brought you to see her, because I needed to know that you really loved me before we got married. And we get this great
Madeline Ashton test.
We get this great cut where Bruce Willis is like, I promise you sound so silly, like I promise you, I really have no interest in Madeline Ashton. Smash cut to them getting married.
Yeah, hard cut to a wedding.
Yeah. It's really funny. Yeah.
Listen, it's the second movie in a row we've talked about in a bonus where there's been a hard cut to a wedding, and both times it's been very funny. funny. So
Mhm.
maybe
It's
it's
reliably
maybe it's
a good
peak humor.
punchline.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's the best joke.
Whoa, ho, 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 hold on a minute now. That's quite enough for you goddamn freeloader. If you want to listen to the rest, that was really harsh, and I feel bad about it already, but I'm going to keep going because I only put in enough time to record this once. Hey, if you have liked these first 10 minutes and you've liked all the free ones, why not, head on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/killjamesbond, all one word. Sign up today for like £5 a month. That is £2.50 per podcast because you get one every second week. That's a pretty fucking good deal. Where are you going to get a better deal than that on podcasts?